That's what we're known for right around the world. And Australians love to live near the coast. But being a gardener, it's got its challenges. Whether it's the strong winds or the salt spray, gardening near the beach can be pretty tough. But we've found a garden that's not just surviving, but thriving in that environment. And when you combine a beautiful garden with a front yard like that, I reckon you found heaven. It's called Sharky's Beach, and we're in the suburb of Coaldale, which is about an hour south of Sydney. And this is what I'm talking about. Just compare it to the neighbours and you can see how steep the slope was. A lot of Australians that live on the coast live on a mountain range like this, and it's a pretty difficult spot to work with. But when you break it up into different levels, it's worth doing. The reason why it works so well is because it's been staged. There's 4 different levels. The first one's a garden bed with some stairs meandering through it. So the crushed granite with a fire pit. Fire pits are probably the trendiest thing you can put in your garden at the moment. Still got the backyard lawn, big enough for a couple of kids to rumble on. In fact, it looks like a sumo circle. The man behind this clever garden design is Grant Boyle. What did this look like when you started?
Oh, it was basically just a big green hill. It was just all grass. There was no usable space. It was just a wasteland, really. We wanted to create a space that was low maintenance. You know, the clients have a busy lifestyle. They've got young kids. They didn't want to spend all day in the garden.
What was your biggest challenge when you went from that sloping lawn to what we see now?
The biggest challenge, I guess, was getting all the material down here. These sleepers, there's 200 of them. They only weigh about 80 kilos each, so...
well, it's really shortened you up. You can see, you've obviously got help. There's a couple of plants here that turn this from a landscape into a garden, and one of them is this pig face. And here it's growing across the crushed granite. It can handle the harshest environments along the coast. That's why you see it as a bank binder. When you walk over the sand and it's fenced off on either side, it's because plants like this are here, keeping the sand where it's meant to be because of their deep root system. And the reason why they can survive in such a harsh environment is because the leaves are just chock-a-block full of moisture. The only thing it doesn't like is bouncing balls and size 10 shoes. But other than that, it can pretty much grow anywhere where it's free draining. You got coastal rosemary there, which have been balled up. They're westringers. Lamandra tanica, one of my favourite little filler plants, and agaves, a bit of lavender. So you can see that if they got too much water, they'd probably get soft in the centre and die. But this is the one I love the most. It's called Echium. Now, it's got a couple of positives and a couple of negatives. The positives, it's just a beautiful shrub that needs no maintenance. In fact, it doesn't like pruning. The negative, you need to find a space about 4 or 5 square metres to plant it, and it doesn't last really long. About 6 or 7 years, then it starts to yellow and brown off. But the good news is, you could always plant another one. The secret to success of any good landscaping job is choosing the right materials, and this garden's got it spot on. I mean, the stairs and the retaining walls could have easily been done out of brick and rendered walls, but the fact that these are out of second-hand sleepers, yes, they're hard to work with and they're heavy to carry around, they're a nightmare to cut, but when they're in position, they look fantastic. I like the fact that the tops are irregular, so you're not getting a straight line and a retaining wall with a big step at the end of it. It curves round, gently disappears to nothing. I love the idea of that, and I might steal it. But the thing about this garden I like the most is the fact that everyone can enjoy it. The adults can sit back and admire the view and keep toasty warm around the fire, and the kids can run amok in all the other areas. This is a garden full of adventure.